Welcome to the loaded cannon. And before we get on to that game, my God, there's so much to talk about. Let's do our dedication today. And you know, this one's not going to be a dedication. It's going to just be about what I what a lot of us saw today. As they say, the most powerful man on the planet, President of the United States, that orange clown, openly calling for ethnic cleansing, openly calling for a complete disregard for international law, and still in this day and age, in 2025, a colonizer mentality that you think is consigned to history. I was just shocked. I mean, you can't put anything past evil like people like him and and that mentality. But I just couldn't believe it was so brazen, so open. So just to say, Saturday the 15th of Feb is a march in London for Palestine. If you can, be there. If you're not from London, if you're not from England, find where an action is taking place, a protest or some form of expression of solidarity is taking place in your local area, and join it. Because when people are saying stuff like that, we need to come out in force. Anyway, on to Arsenal. And wow, I didn't think we would have to take our own advice so brutally and so quickly. But me and all of the other Arsenal fans out there, stay humble. My God. We got ripped apart in in the most, what can I say, like cutthroat fashion. Newcastle was so good. And I'm not even going to criticize Arsenal too much, because against Man City, I felt like we were on their necks. We were just absolutely relentless in our approach to the game and the way we conducted ourselves in the game. Yes, we got a bit of luck, but we earned that luck. We were on the front foot all the time. It's like Newcastle watched that game and said, "Look at that, playing against an elite team. We'll just do exactly the same thing." And my God, they did it well. Every single one of their players and their fans, oh my God. I really want them to go and win this trophy, because they deserve it. They really do deserve it. Those fans, I've been to St. James's Park away many times, and when they get going, my God, they get going. And the way their players asserted themselves on that game, like you saw Kieran Trippier, I know, ex-Tottenham player, and annoyed me during the game today, but him, I'm not even talking about Isaac. Isaac did it in a different way. He didn't do it in a fired up way. He did it in a different way. Gordon, Fabian Shah, there were so many players, Lewis Hall, that I was just looking at, and I was thinking, each individual and the entire team, if that was my club, if that was Arsenal playing like that, and Arsenal players playing like those players that I've just mentioned, and Bruno, you know, and there were so many more, I would be proud. I would be thinking, this is a team that cares. These people aren't turning up for a pay packet. They are playing as if they've got the colours running through their heart. And, you know, I accept the defeat today, because we were absolutely played off the park in every single area. Sometimes you might have like a grumble, a complaint, or you might talk about the ref, you might talk about, oh, unlucky about this, that, the other. We were just battered, absolutely battered by Newcastle. And I am just going to accept that defeat and say, sometimes that happens in football. Well done to Newcastle. We didn't lose today because we were rubbish. We lost today because they didn't even let us get out of second gear. They made us. They made us rubbish, you could say. It's not that we turned up and just had a bad game. They were that good. And I can't remember the last time a team played like that against us. Look at William Saliba today. I mean, is this team even the same team that just went and battered Man City 5-1? And we were all having a good time saying, stay humble. And now look at us. I'm not trying to dig anyone out. I'm not trying to dig the team out. I'm just giving Newcastle credit here. And I think that's what we need to do. But William Saliba, he was shook today. David Raya, look at that mistake. Isaac, he must have felt about 10 feet tall on that pitch. He rattled our entire team. He was pure class. You will not see a better performance from a striker without them scoring in a game all season. He was unbelievably good. And yes, he had Gabriel and Saliba, the best defensive partnership in England. He had them rattled. And Raya as well, in terms of, you know, how we conceded that second goal. You could see, well, not obviously just Alexander Isak, but the entire team, but primarily him, led by him. He was unbelievable. His finish for the disallowed goal, we were so lucky. Did we heed any learning from that? Absolutely not. He still was able to get time and space and his shots off. He is so happy to shoot on sight, and there's no panic. He knows exactly what he's doing. That ball is going top corner. He is, just get a red and white shirt on him. Please swap him from black and white to red and white. I was really annoyed that we didn't make a move in this transfer window. Arteta can say all he likes that he's disappointed. You know, as a fan, I'm gutted because when Arteta went and said, yes, we're looking for a striker, the way I'm used to Arsenal conducting themselves, when the manager does that, I expect results to follow. Because typically in our past, we haven't had a manager that will hang out the backroom staff to dry. And when he said we're looking for a striker, I took that to mean that clearly it's joined up communication leaving the club. He's saying it because they will then follow with it. And when it didn't happen, I was really, really annoyed. And obviously then we go and beat Man City 5-1, and you almost kind of feel silly for saying, oh, we desperately need a striker. Look, it's not the first time this season it's happened, but it's happened again where Alexander Isak is just showing us everything that we're missing. Kai Havertz today, look, he was clearly riled up, and Newcastle, man, they got under our skin because we saw it with him. We saw it with Declan Rice as well. They were trying to leave their mark. And when was the last time Arsenal resorted to just leaving something on opposition players because we couldn't get near them? Declan Rice, he was visibly frustrated. And I don't mind that. I like to see an emotional reaction from players when you get embarrassed like that on a football pitch. I want to see that they care. So fine, so be it. But we have to put our hands up and say, well done to Newcastle. Really, really well done to Newcastle. I'm praying tomorrow Liverpool batter Tottenham and Tottenham don't get to a final. But it's crazy to me. Newcastle over 2 legs. We got beat 4-0. Shocking. And they deserved it. Brilliant in the first game. Brilliant in the second game. Newcastle fans, I take my hat off to you. Eddie Howe, I don't say this as a figure of speech. I mean it quite literally. Tactical masterclass. Honestly, he should be very, very hugged. And all of this stay humble advice, man, it's going to be hard for him to stay humble because he presided over an unbelievably good managerial performance. Fabian Schär come 80 yards up the pitch to press Declan Rice. If you had told me that before the game, I would have said, yeah, please try it. See what happens. See what happens to the gaps that you create. And we couldn't get anywhere near them. So credit to him. We just need to bounce back, Arsenal. And hey, listen, let's hope some warm weather training does the job that it did previously. And we have a fantastic end to the season. That's one trophy gone. And none of us will care if we go and land a bigger trophy. But truth be told, given how many years we've gone without a trophy, I wanted to get to the final tonight. And I hoped that we might, in terms of putting on some pressure on Newcastle by scoring the first goal. But alas, it wasn't to be. And Newcastle, well done. Go and win that trophy. As a club, you deserve it. Your fans deserve it. And the players, if they can pull out performances like that and a performance like that in the final, they'll deserve it as well. Until next time, take care.